everyone. This is me, Haya Conference Valley, a level 1 straight enhanced school and academy. And today, as you all know, that on day basis, we have a special guest in our podcast session today, and we get to know about them. We have some chit chat with them. We ask them about their work, we ask them about their life journeys, and much more. So, today we have a really special guest today, and he is Patrick Herran. So let me tell you guys a bit about him. And he is a life coach, and he's an author. He's a speaker and creator of the Conditionless Movement. So if you want to know more about him, of course, we will ask him. So we will ask him questions, and let's start with our podcast session. So, hello there, Patrick. How are you doing? How is your day?
Hi, thank you for the introduction, and I am glad to be here. I'm having a good day. It's early here in Toronto, Canada, but yes, I am ready to talk.
Yes, I totally get that. And thank you so much, first of all, Patrick, for joining my podcast session. So I'm really glad to have you here. So let's start with the questions. So, first of all, what I would like to ask you is that what actually inspired you to become a life coach?
That's a big question. I think that it all goes back to my desire of wanting to change the world. Really, it sounds really big, and
Mm-hmm, okay.
that's how it is. And since I was a kid, I've always wanted to make some sort of change, and I thought that it had it was going to have something to do with education. So, but at first, I wasn't actually doing any life coaching. Well, when I finished high school, I studied in university a couple of years, and then I changed direction completely. So I discovered life coaching in a very unusual way, which was that not very unusual, I guess, but unexpected to me. So I found a book called "Coach Yourself to Success" by Elaine Mirador, and I started. That was my first interaction with life coaching, and I really liked how the concept. Like you could change so many areas of your life. You could gain clarity on what you wanted. You could invest in yourself and your skills, your mindset, and your confidence, and then you could slowly make progress towards improving your life. So I think that the biggest thing for me is that I realized that life was not happening to me, that I could actually do something about it, make changes that would compound into bigger changes. So, and my biggest motivation really is to um, help other people do the same thing. They become the best version of themselves and realize their dreams. So, life coaching came to me that way. And I remember one day I was having a conversation with my mom, and I was telling her, I mean, she knew that I was in life coaching, that I was doing a lot of work on myself. And somehow, out of the blue, she tells me, you should become a coach. And that was a, very like an inflection point in my life because I was actually shocked that I didn't think about that myself. And but I was really excited. Like it sounded so right. So after that, I remember going home, researching coaching schools, and I ended up enrolling in one several months later. And that's what got me in this journey.
That was wonderful, Patrick. That was so fun to listen to. That was a wonderful answer, and I really enjoyed your answer actually. That was a great one. So, thank you for sharing this, and I really liked it, and I hope my audience would love it too. So, next, I would like to ask you is that, like, was there a specific moment that actually led you to create the conditionless movement?
Oh, that is almost the story of my life coming together. Like this is one of the biggest songs I have ever made, actually, and it all came from a very simple but at the same time innovative idea that self-improvement is possible without unnecessary pain. So the idea of conditionless is that we place a lot of conditions on ourselves to be happy, to grow, and to take action. Conditions such as I can't write a book, which I'm doing, by the way. I can't write a book until I become a good writer. I can't speak until I sound good. I can't do a job that I'm not already good at. So, and there are so many limitations that are imposed by social expectations, by ourselves. It's almost like we're giving away our right to live the life that we want. It's almost like you always need something first, and then you can finally have what you actually want and be happy. So we're procrastinating so many things: what we want to do, what we want to
Yeah.
have, and how we're going to find happiness and fulfillment. And one of the biggest ideas about conditionalness is that we remove all those conditions and we try
Okay.
to be happy and fulfilled today. That we don't let other people tell us who we are, that we choose who we are. And the suffering comes from all those things. It comes from trying to prove your worth all the time, working yourself to the bone, of making, trying to make a lot of money just to, prove that you are successful or that you are really good at your
Mm-hmm.
job. At the end of the day, um, this is not to say you shouldn't pursue success, but if you are not the most popular like expert in a field or professional, that doesn't make you a bad professional. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
not just so many eyeballs are on you. That's a big difference, and that's a distortion that's created is and amplified in the world of internet. So we see people who will
Okay.
do like who are so we will see a lot of. I don't mean to be too critical of this, but we see a lot of people who are not really that talented, but they gain
Mm-hmm.
tons of attention, right? And then we confuse high attention with success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and that's what conditionalist is about. And my idea is that we put ourselves through a lot of suffering when we don't
Okay.
choose conditionalist. So,
All right, Patrick. Okay, thank you for the answer. So like you mentioned in your answer that you're working on a book too, right? You
exactly.
mentioned that. So basically, an author. So the fun fact is that I am actually working on two books too. Like yeah, and it's really interesting because it was my first time, and because this is a part of my actually internship. So I'm an internee of someone, and I'm actually making two booklets for kids actually on and it's about my school, my Rehan school. And if you know about it, you probably know that Rehan school is like the world's first artificial intelligence based school. So that booklet, those booklets I made. So and I'm currently working on them right now, and that's actually wonderful too because you're an author. So I would love to hear more about your books, and I would love to hear that what actually inspired you to become an author. And when did you
Oh,
actually develop this interest?
absolutely. I've been wanting to write a book. I knew that writing a book was on the table for me. Like I've known for a really long time that I wanted to publish a book. I just
Mhm.
didn't know what it was going to be about. At the same
Okay.
time, I knew that I felt like I had to, let's say, live a lot more in order to write it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That I had to prove myself, earn some degree of success, being able to say, I
Yeah.
want to write a book that helps people because of what I've done, right?
Okay.
That actually
Mm-hmm.
ties directly with your last question, because for a really long time, even though I've been into self-improvement for 14 years, I never felt
Okay.
qualified enough to write a book. I thought I had to
Mm-hmm.
do more, be more before I could write it. But now, the book comes together in so many ways. Because on one hand, a book is your legacy. That's what I
Yeah.
believe. And all my ideas, all my experiences, they need to be documented someone, right? I think that's
Mm-hmm.
really important. The next thing is that I actually really enjoy writing. And what I like about the book, which is this is connected to legacy as well, it's an asset that doesn't die, right? In my experience, starting to start a growing business, one thing I really struggle with is that when you, for example, create social media content, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of that
Yeah.
content dies the next day, and that feels like super frustrating. Um, and then I said, a
Okay.
book won't die, like it's gonna be there all the time, and it can do so many other things. But it's not just about being that business convenience either. Honestly, the bigger motivation is the message behind it. And the title of the book actually, I have it already, which is "Stop Self Improvement from Hurting."
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
in my
Interesting.
experience, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
In my experience, my big theory, my big thesis of this book is that a lot of people who care a lot about their personal development, they fall into this trap of working on themselves so hard that when they don't
Mm-hmm.
accomplish what they want,
Yeah.
they feel inadequate, right? And
Mm-hmm.
um, when you are in this world like hustling and manifestation, thoughts create reality. Like when you're in those not so small worlds of personal development, you end up thinking that whatever is happening, whatever you're trying to accomplish, when it doesn't happen, it's your fault. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
one way or another. We are all a lot of experts are saying that, and a lot of people who follow the experts end up believing that. And then we, what I realized is by exploring this subject a lot more, by looking at my own life, I
Mm-hmm.
saw that this is actually not true. There are so many other forces in play that can make a person, really disciplined, not get
Mm-hmm.
very good results, and people who are maybe not so disciplined get better results. Like basically, what we know as the success formula is something more complex than most people make it out.
Okay, that's wonderful, Patrick. So, that was actually really good and wonderful to hear about your books, and I'm sure that they're really amazing. So, are they actually published? I think you said they're not.
No, they're not published. Actually, my other book is a journal which I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's called Progress Made Visible. So it has a lot to
Mm.
do with putting your ideas out there, following the same six prompts every day, seven actually now, and noticing that you may not have everything that you want in life,
Mm-hmm.
but you're consistently moving forward and growing.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing, Patrick. And I actually used for my booklets, I actually used Canva to design my booklets there.
Kind of.
And they're actually really small since they're for kids. So it's all about AI, basically. Those booklets are all about AI, and also encourages students to join the school and make their future better by learning AI. And not just AI, actually develops skills, and also it develops good habits like discipline and other habits that are actually lead to success in the future. So now I would like to ask you that, of course, we all receive in this world, we all receive negative feedbacks as well from people, because it's not mandatory to always get positive feedback. There are some people who actually support your work, and there are also people who hate your work, who actually basically jealous of you, and they don't want to see you succeed in life. So I'm sure that I wanted to ask you that, how do you actually deal with the negative feedback on social media, or just like that? How do you
That's
deal with
actually,
it?
yeah, that's holding so many people back from putting their work out there. So I heard some people say just ignore them, but don't fully agree with that. And the reason why is that sometimes the criticism that we hear is something that is telling us something more. So when I hear something that I don't like from a person, I mean, and
Okay.
often I ask myself, why do I have to listen to this? And I don't mean that in a
Mm-hmm.
way in a way of, oh, I don't want to tolerate this. The way I mean it is that is there some other message that I'm supposed to be hearing? Because I believe that experiences are not
Mm-hmm.
don't happen
Yeah.
random, and that you can always draw some kind of value from negative experiences.
Mm.
So sometimes, a comment would be just plain bad, and honestly, it will hold any value probably. For example, I literally got a comment a couple of weeks ago that said WTF with a question mark at the end. So
Okay.
that was quite hilarious. I even responded to that saying, "Can you expand?" So
Okay.
and yeah, so yeah, I think that we need to use our discernment to see if it's something meant to be hurtful, if it does hold any sort of truth behind that hurt, and some other negative feedback is actually useful feedback that you have to
Mm-hmm.
look at.
Yes.
So
Mm.
it goes down to that judgment. But the last thing that I wanted to mention is that it's really important to be confident in yourself and in your message. So the
Absolutely.
one thing that yes, so you can't control what other people would say, but you can control how strongly, how much conviction you have for your ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And if you
Yes.
don't have exactly, if you don't have that,
Mm-hmm.
that means that you have to polish them more. There's
Yeah.
new learning
Absolutely.
waiting for you, or you need more reflection, or simply add more experiences to what you
Mm-hmm.
believe to actually be convinced that they are true.
Mm-hmm. That was actually so you mentioned in the beginning that ignore the haters, actually ignore them. But actually, what I used to do, like, of course, I receive a lot of negative feedback as well, and because everyone is like, so like the school I'm in, so my even my friends they used to say that you should leave the school because it's a scam. It's just like taking your money. You're just paying the fees, and it's not going to lead you to anything. So the fact that my friends started giving negative feedbacks, but that didn't actually discourage me or disappoint me or demotivate me. I was actually I really loved listening to feedbacks of the people, whether it's negative or positive, and I didn't really take the negative feedbacks to my heart. I used to before, but no, I don't now because I've changed myself this because I've learned that taking negative feedbacks to heart, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't help you. What you have to do is just ignore them, and maybe what my teacher told me is that just throw the haters into the trash can. And I was like, okay, yes, that is easy for some people to do, but sometimes it's not. So yes, thank you, Patrick. Your answer, I actually learned so much from your answers for like till now, and that's wonderful. And it's so fun talking to you right now. So let's proceed with the questions.
For
So,
sure.
Patrick, what do you actually think that, like, why do so many intelligent people, and even though they're hardworking, but still, they feel like that they're stuck at something? So, why does it happen?
Mm. Well, I found that the root problem of progress, of success, is misalignment. So
Mm-hmm.
misalignment is a concept that I spent, a lot of time reading, but also developing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the idea that something doesn't, things don't match who we truly are. They don't match
Okay.
our values, our personality, and
Yeah,
our true purpose. So
absolutely.
we create plans and we choose outcomes that go against who we are. That creates friction. And when you live with that friction, consistency becomes really difficult. You don't love the process. And at best,
Mm-hmm.
and this is
Yes.
really important, at best, you're going to be successful in something that was not worth it. in the first place because it's not your thing. That's the best
Mm-hmm.
case scenario. The worst case scenario is that some parts of yourself is, are
Okay.
going to notice the friction and they're going to fight it. It's almost like you have a certain intention of going this way, but there are parts of yourself that say, don't go that way. This is not worth it. This is not who you are. So
Mm-hmm.
that internal fight is what causes a lot of intelligent, hardworking people to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And this applies in oh, you were gonna say something, right?
No, you continue. Continue. I
Yeah.
thought that you were
So,
done with your answer.
okay, okay. So this applies to
Yes.
so many things. So in my experience, for example, I identify as an intellectual, and
Mm-hmm.
while I was in university, that was very easy to stick to. But then, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
left university. Then I started um, working a job that was very, very different. So it was
Mm-hmm.
manual labor. And after that, I, you know, found coaching, and later on, I started studying business and marketing to grow a business. So that
Oh,
was one of the
okay.
moments, yes, where while I learned a lot and I grew a lot, I realized that the values of, you know, many business people and marketers clashed against my own intellectual values. So, and it's one of those things where your intuition somehow tells you that something is off,
Mm-hmm.
tells you that something isn't right. But in my case, I was just ignoring the signal and pushing harder. I said,
Mm-hmm.
this has to be the path to success because it worked for so many people. But, you know, many years later, I learned that that was never going to work for me because I was
Mm-hmm.
misaligned. Right?
All right. I totally understand that, Patrick. Well, anyways, Patrick, what do you think about artificial intelligence? And I know that mostly people are not always on the side of AI. Some people are against this because some people think that it's not actually leading to benefit. But what do you actually think about AI?
AI is wonderful.
Yes,
I
it
think
is.
it has simplified my career like a lot,
Mm-hmm.
my career in business a lot. I've actively used AI to create my book, but not in the way you expect. I think this experience will be important for you and the listeners. Yes, many
Oh.
people say that we use AI and we just stop thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't produce anything creative anymore. We don't put mental effort into anything anymore because
Absolutely.
the
That's
AI can
true.
do it, right? That's a fair argument. But it all
Yes.
comes down to the use, and the proper use comes down to education at the
Yeah.
same time. So, unfortunately, in that sense, you can only rely on your own efforts because AI education doesn't exist so much. I mean, it looks like that's probably covered in the school that
Mm-hmm.
you're going to. And the way I use AI for my book, for example, is that I was speaking. I use voice notes a lot. I'm really good with ChatGPT, and I would speak my thoughts
Mm-hmm.
into the AI. Like it was really crazy, very because I was doing it in a very unconventional way, the way I was producing my book. So I was uh, every time I had an idea, I would pull out my phone out of the blue and just talk into it and say, I thought about this and that. And then the AI
Mm-hmm.
would transcribe my ideas, but also would try to organize it and see patterns and put it together.
Okay.
And I was doing that for a little, maybe 2 months, 2 full months of just
Mm-hmm.
randomly putting on my phone and speaking into it. And then it got to a point where I felt I had enough ideas to get ready. So the AI, I asked the AI to try to create an outline out of all the ideas that I put together. And then we started coming up with, you know, different sections, different chapters. And that was the moment that I felt like I was ready to write. And now I continue to use the hybrid approach to writing my book, where every night I write a page or two. That's what I've been doing for the last 3 months. I write the
Mm-hmm.
pages of two, and then I take photos of my handwriting, let the AI transcribe it, and analyze it for me. And then it's going to tell me, okay,
Okay.
this is really good writing. Here you missed an opportunity to expand. Here you might be contradicting like previous idea. It's really really smart, and it's like it's a cooperative, you know, process. So all important things are coming from this head, but AI helps me see stuff differently. It presents it to
Yes,
me. It helps. It creates a feedback loop where more ideas come from the analysis that the AI has done for me.
absolutely.
And
Hmm.
I think that that's a great use for generative AI.
Yes, it
Obviously,
is.
there are many other uses. Actually, I want to tell you about a very interesting use
Mm-hmm.
that I did a couple of years ago. I actually let the AI help me analyze statistics, news, platform for me
Oh,
to choose my representative when I had to vote. And
okay.
I said to myself, I want to do it as rational as possible. So what's the candidate that
Mm-hmm.
has the platform that matches better what I believe? And then it gave me like a whole breakdown. And I know
Oh.
that there could be a risk, you know, of news that are not real news or biased. I am aware of that risk. But when I was reading the whole report, it said, yeah, this is the most logical conclusion. So I knew who to vote. I didn't let the
Mm-hmm.
AI tell me who, but I was able to make a sound decision by that.
Oh, okay. That was wonderful. Yes, amazing and really interesting. Yeah, about AI, you are 100% right. And that is what actually I had in mind, what you all just said. And yeah, the fact that I use AI for my books as well, just like you did, absolutely. And the way you said that people actually rely on AI a bit too much. And uh, the thing is that I've seen people using AI in legit every single thing. Like, and then I come to think of it, like, I come to think that they don't actually use their own imagination and they don't actually use their own minds, to um get their work done. They keep using AI for every single thing. And today's kids, actually, they don't have their critical thinking. They're not, because you can kind of say that today's people or today's kids are not going to be smart enough, or maybe you can say, because they use AI for, I mean, it's not bad, of course, to use AI. I use AI a lot too since I'm in an AI school. But using AI for every single thing, even they use it at school to get their homeworks done, and that's a bit funny. So yeah, that's the point. So Patrick, that was a really wonderful podcast, and I really like the way you answered my questions, and I really enjoyed talking to you, and the way you shared about your books, the way you shared your feedback about AI, the way you shared your life journey, your life experiences, the hardships, about the negative feedback as well. So at the last, I would like to ask you, like, I would like to request if you could, like, give an advice to people. Like, it could be any advice to the people, whatever you have in your mind.
Absolutely. I think that I could talk about alignment a lot. That's my one of my favorite subjects. And but I think that it would be useful for your listeners to
Mm-hmm.
choose to have a passion project. I think I was inspired by our book conversation, and I think it's
Mm-hmm.
just so meaningful to have a passion project where you get to use your skills, you get to learn new skills, you have something to look forward to every day. Um, and you enjoy a process that will turn into some creative outlet.
Mm-hmm.
So I am writing a book that will become something that will last, something that is going to have my stories and my lessons and my concepts in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that potentially everyone has something like that where you can just tell the story of your life, where you can apply your favorite skills to doing something that you love, to helping other people. So
Yes,
I find
absolutely.
it very meaningful, and I think it will be great for your journey for growing as a person as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah.
last one that is always, choosing who you truly are. So when you notice the signals that are telling you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
don't go this way, actually listen to those signals and go with the gut, like follow your intuition.
Wonderful advice, Patrick. That was amazing. And I would give that a 10 out of 10 advice. That's actually usually how I do. Like no matter how many people I take the interview or podcast stuff session. So I actually at the end of the session, I ask everyone to give their advice and then I rate it. So that's a 10 out of 10 for you. That was wonderful. And thank you so much once again for coming to my show. And it was wonderful to have you here. And my audience would absolutely love this podcast. They would love to know more about you. And I'm sure that they would also ask me for your books. So because that happens, like I've interviewed many authors, and my audience like always asks like, we want to get to know more about their books. So could you give that to me on Facebook?
That would be amazing. For the time being, I don't have a landing page or anything built ready to receive people who get updates about my book. But the best thing you can
Okay.
do is follow me on Facebook. It's Patrick Herran, right?
Okay.
And I'm very approachable as well. Like if you feel inclined to send me a direct message, I will respond. Often I don't respond
Okay.
right away, but don't feel rejected about that. I always respond
Yes,
at the
yes, it's okay. Yes, I understand. Yes, I understand that. Well, we this is the end of our podcast session, and I hope you enjoyed, Patrick. I enjoyed a lot too, and thank you for asking. And everyone, this was our amazing podcast session with Patrick. And if you have any questions, you can ask me later or in the comments. And I'll see you in another podcast session. Till then, take care. Bye bye.